Hello and welcome to another edition of Health Matters. Because your health matters, we are committed to bringing you quality programming under a variety of topics to bring you information. And do you know what I'm going to say next? That information is only powerful when you act on it. Hi everyone, I'm Anna Marie Sinatra from Sinatra Solutions, and I am so excited today. The sun is shining, it's absolutely beautiful out, and we are getting ready for the Holistic Expo that is coming up. And you know what that means? That means that I have a really special person here to share some great information with you, and she brought some guests with us too. But before we get started, we're going to take a moment to thank and to hear from our sponsors.
Hi, I'm Michelle Giambardino from Face Fitness Skincare, a proud sponsor of Health Matters. We take pride in educating you on anti-aging solutions to help you obtain healthy, glowy skin. Continue to watch because your health matters.
Electronic Merchant Systems is proud and honored to bring you such creative educational television as Your Health Matters. We believe in we educate and you decide.
Okay, I am really excited, so here we go. Jill O'Hara from Roads to Wellness, sitting next to me, partnering, bringing you all this great information. Welcome, Jill.
Thank you, Anna Marie, again for having me here. I am thrilled to be here talking about the third annual Holistic Health Expo. Can't believe it's 3 years now.
I know, isn't it amazing? I remember the first year that you did it. We were at, it was Transform Your Health at the Wharf. Right down by the water, our beautiful waterfront that's coming along. That gave us way too much wind that day, didn't it?
Yes, it did. Yes, it did. But last year we moved our home to the Marcy Casino at Delaware Park, where we will once again be hosting this year's event. And I am thrilled because it is growing even bigger than it was last year. I have more vendors, well over 50-something vendors. We have demonstrations and speakers all day long. And we will have all sorts of opportunities for people to interact and find a way of learning how to take care of themselves holistically, physically, mentally, emotionally, and spiritually.
And that is so important that we want you to have these different options and different information so that if you find yourself in a health crisis, that you know who to turn to, where to turn, and even before that, do some preventative maintenance, as you know, as we're always talking to you about so many amazing things that you could do, hopefully before a crisis hits. But Jill, I have to say, you know, you are kind of like we're kindred spirits. We're all over the community. You are doing amazing things. These expos, everybody looks forward to. And when you said it's going to be even bigger this year, I can't even imagine because it was so huge last year. I hardly got a chance to even talk to some of you. Yes. And I will be speaking again this year too, so make sure you come and look for me. But there was things constantly going on. Yes. It was amazing.
Yes, we will be outdoing ourselves even this year compared to last year.
Wow.
I am bubbling inside, I really am. We have a lot of vendors who are returning from the last year and 2 years, but we also have a lot of new people joining us, and it's going to make for a really fun-filled event. Naturally, we have our popular drumming circle.
Yes.
And laughter yoga, which is always wonderful.
Ho, 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 ha, ha, ha. And if you don't know what that means, then you just have
to join us. Exactly, right. and we'll instruct. We will be having so many different practitioners. We have Bach flower remedies, we have natural skincare, we have handcrafted all natural organic soaps, we have energy workers, we have some psychic readings, we have hypnotherapy, and the list really does go on
and on and on and on. And even though we know that we're visualizing beautiful weather, what's so beautiful about the Marcy Casino is that there's an inside too. We have both floors as well as the covered patio.
Exactly. So we have the covered patio and we have the lower patio, which is a tented patio. That's where the demonstrations as well as some vendors will be. And so it's a perfect, place to have this. We can have people who are comfortable indoors, people who are comfortable outdoors. We also will have golf cart to transport people if they need some help getting up the hill this year, which is exciting. We didn't have that. They also have made some changes to the casino itself, and we have the elevator from upstairs to downstairs,
good.
making it much more comfortable for people who have any problems, getting around. And again, it's just going to be a really awesome, exciting day, and I am looking forward to reaching out into the community and inviting everybody. We want everyone to understand this is a free event and it's open to the public. A lot of times people will look at that and think, oh, it's only for private events, but the Marcy Casino is open for public events, and again, it's a free event. We will have vendors who will be offering many services for small fees, also some products for sale, but it's just going to be a fun day filled with information that's simply amazing.
And I think you brought a couple of people with you that are going to be there that you're going to introduce us to.
I most certainly did. I brought along, Anna Laba and Michelle Denz, and would just like to say thank you, girls, for being here. Welcome. If you would, Anna, would you just give me a little brief information about yourself and your healing practice?
Oh, I'd love to. Thank you for having me here
You're
today.
welcome.
I'm an energy practitioner working with 3 modalities primarily. I'm a Reiki master, I also do pranic healing, and I'm a Bars practitioner. And we're all focused on energy work, preventative, as well as an energy, being able to help people manage their health, even if they have different issues that are going on.
Okay, now could you explain for us when we talk about energy work, because I know sometimes when I talk about the energy work that I do, it's a little bit confusing to people. So if you could go in just a little bit more detail for us.
Well, in energy work, we're all energy. And it has recently been stated that 70% of what we are is energy, just like we're, how many percentages are water-based in our body. Right. And energy is all around us. So it's just that life force, and in Japan, they would refer to it as ki. In China, they refer to it as chi. And so in here, we're just referring to it as energy. And it's just understanding that, we are a component and that we are affected by energy, and it is just part of who we are. We have days, I guess one way to maybe look at it is the days where you're up. We use that word. We're energized, and there's days we feel depleted and our energy is low. So in terms of, the way to look at it is just understanding it is that life force within us and around us.
And I just want to say, speaking of beautiful energy, you two brought your energy together. You were both practicing individually and then created Souls Are Touched, so that you're hitting both parts of our region. Tell us a little bit about that.
Yes. Well, Michelle and I found each other. I'm not sure exactly how long ago, but we did. It resonated, and in terms of understanding, we communicated well. Our energy worked well together, and we really have the same philosophy and underlying approach. So we decided to join forces to be able to serve the community. Michelle is working more out of the Northtown, Williamsville area, and I'm in the Buffalo area. But it allows us to be able to work together and be an advocate for, getting this information out so that people can be aware and learn more of what the opportunities are for this type of, beautiful way of healing on many levels.
It's wonderful. It's wonderful, and I'm glad to see that the two of you have partnered up and are, working as a team to get this information out there. Anna, I would love if you would explain to me just a little bit more about what prana is and maybe go into that a little bit, and a little bit of what Reiki itself is and how it can actually help to heal.
Okay, Reiki and pranic are both very energy-based, as we have just been discussing. Reiki is a form of light touch therapy, and it allows, the recipient is very relaxed, laying on a table fully clothed when a session is in progress. But with Reiki, it's allowing, using light touch, usually starting at the top of the head and gently moving down the person's physical body, and it allows that energy to flow wherever that person is looking for. You know, it's allowing that body, that recipient of the person receiving the treatment is really in charge of taking that energy and moving it to help them. And it will balance on all levels. When I talk about energy, I also like to talk about it as being emotional, mental, and as well as physical.
Yes.
And if we look at our physical being, there are two parts to us, really. We do have the physical part that we hold on to, but we also have that auric field that is within around us that everybody, you know, somewhat familiar with. And from a scientific point of view, it's referred to as our bioplasmic field.
Correct.
And both of those really connect and they work with each other. So whether it's Reiki or pranic, you're working within both levels so that healing will take place within
And the
and
difference
without.
between the prana
And the difference now with pranic is becomes much more specific. With Reiki, the energy is flowing. With pranic, it has more of a cookbook approach with many years of practice where it becomes very specific. And with pranic, you are actually cleansing, you're sweeping, you're doing more of an assessment within the auric field or in the chakra systems or even the organs, and then you're helping to decongest and sweep that energy
Interesting.
and remove a lot of it. So therefore, after you're done with that, and then you can assess it again, you then energize it. So then it allows and it strengthens that particular area. And if you're strengthening it, it helps boost the immune system, which then allows the intelligence of your body to help it to repair itself.
So are they two different trainings that you
Yes.
would take so that you do different things in terms of what your focus is when you're doing one versus the other?
Yes, that's true. With pranic, there are 4 different levels of trainings that are involved. With Reiki, there are 3 levels. And with pranic, it, as I mentioned before, becomes specific. And it's about understanding how to assess all the areas, how to cleanse, how to decongest, and then continue assessing it, and then using, you may even use different colors because they all have different properties when you're cleansing and even when you're energizing someone to help with, you know, whatever the situation might be. And it even takes another level. With pranic, there is an additional level which they refer to as psychotherapy. You know, when you have the emotional component, like what are the different areas or the chakras that are involved, and that helping work with those as well to help people
Okay, so
get through things.
excuse me, when you say psychotherapy, you're not referring to traditional psychotherapy. You're
No.
referring to more an emotional
Yes.
balance. Okay.
Yes, I am. It's
Okay.
referring more to the emotional balance and assisting. So if someone has issues with grief or stress, anxiety, phobias, ADHD, there is a method of working with the chakras and cleansing them and then energizing them that helps people be able to move that along.
Well, this is what we're going to do now. We have got so much information. This is very, very interesting. We're going to just take a little moment break and then come back with our second guest as well to share some of the things that she's doing, and then we'll just visit the whole topic for any more reiteration that we want to do. So make sure that you keep those pens and papers ready, and as you're seeing all the information coming at the bottom of the screen, make sure that you write it down, because we want to make sure that you have all this information. And speaking of that too, I just want to mention briefly that your website is beautiful. You know, I went on and learned more about each of you individually, as well as the modalities of how you're helping people. And I know that as always, you can always find us on Facebook if you have questions that you want to ask. It's always a good idea to find you and connect with you on Facebook. So stay tuned. I'm going to bring you your little healthy thinking tip for the moment, and we will be right back. Your Health Matters Minute with Anna Marie Sinatra from Sinatra Solutions. Think about what you're thinking about right now. Stop, and notice your thoughts, because your thoughts become words, your words become actions, your actions become habits, and you might be stuck in a rut. But the good news is you can change it. How? By stopping and noticing what you're thinking. Stay tuned for more golden nuggets to learn how to take that thinking and switch it around so you can create success everywhere you go. Welcome back. I'm glad you stayed with us. I am here with Jill O'Hare from Roads to Wellness, doing so many amazing things, including the Holistic Expo that's coming up August 17th at the Marcy Casino. And Jill brought with her Anna and Michelle from Souls Are Touched. And I understand we're going to hear some good information about yoga.
We are. Michelle, how are you? I'm thankful that you're here with us today to share information. She specializes in children's yoga, and I would love if you would give me a little bit about what brought you to wanting to work with children and doing yoga.
Well, what brought me to it is I feel that sometimes children are underestimated about how stressed they can be with schoolwork and all these extracurricular activities that they do, and yoga can kind of bring them in and get them more realigned and calm and refocused.
Okay. How long have you actually been doing yoga, if I may ask?
I have been doing yoga for 2 years now, and kids yoga specifically since January.
Right. Very good.
You know, I've never heard of yoga, children's yoga, and when you say that about how stressed out they are at school, that makes so much sense. And they are so open to be able to give them something like that right from the beginning. That's beautiful.
Yeah, it is. It's wonderful, and they really appreciate the downtime and also all the activities that they're able to participate in and still have fun while they learn about their bodies and how to cope with different circumstances.
Right. I'm familiar with the Yoga Pretzels program, and I've always been very intrigued by it, thinking it's a wonderful, wonderful way to introduce our children to taking better care of themselves and learning how to distress. And I'm glad to see that you're actually, out there doing that, both of you with the kids. What I would love for you to do is explain to me a little bit more about the importance of the breath and the breathing techniques.
Yes, the breathing techniques, we try and find a fun way. For instance, we have our little breathing ball, and what you can do with the breathing ball with children is you can kind of have them breathe with the ball and breathe out, and it comes back, and it's a fun toy, but yet they're still learning a nice breathing mechanism. And what that helps is if they're, we kind of explain to them that they can use this if they're angry or if they're very stressed. Yes. They have this tool to breathe in, breathe out. It calms the body and it just gives them a better overall.
And that really is the benefit of yoga. A big benefit is that calming effect, that relaxing effect. Plus, we're feeding the body a lot of good oxygen by taking those nice deep breaths.
Exactly, yeah.
Yes, and the poses actually for yoga are fun, okay?
Yes,
especially if you're a young child and you're flexible and you work yoga and you get more flexible and create the awareness. I understand that you brought with you some pictures.
Yes,
some examples?
Yes, I brought downward facing dog, and that activity, the kids love it. We'll do a little barking as they're in pose, but it's another one for calming. It's getting your stretching in, kind of aligning the back more. The kids are on the games, and this kind of brings them out more. Right. So they love the pose.
Awesome. And what other ones do you typically?
Another favorite for the children are inverted table pose. And with that pose, it gets even more.
Sounds like fun.
Yeah, it gets even more challenging. We'll kind of stack them up, and we call that the bunk bed style,
nice.
And they love that.
Stack them up. Is it more than two, or just like two? The picture.
Well, I'll go up to two. I'll go up to two. It's for strength. and stretching, heart opener. I mean, it's just a wonderful pose.
True. Now you're also working on teamwork there as well.
Exactly.
Which is,
yes.
yeah, which
Yeah. And
I
that's
think is
moving.
important. I would imagine you see, you know, a lot of good relationships and connections being made
Yes.
with that
Yeah,
happening.
we have a lot of group activities and partner poses.
Yeah.
That
yeah,
gives me a
definitely.
good idea for when I'm doing workshops for businesses, team building. I never thought about yoga as a possibility, doing partner things. You gave me some new ideas today. That's pretty cool. Now, I'm interested in knowing how do you get children to sit still long enough to meditate?
Yes, good one. With the meditation, we have a very simple process, and if you would like to put your hands out, what we do is we say, peace begins with me. And we continually say it, so we might say it a little higher in a voice, peace begins with me, and then we'll go lower and lower and lower, and then eventually ask them to close their eyes and say it in their mind, and it's beautiful to watch, and it does work. I've been in public schools, and 40 children like this.
Yes.
It's beautiful.
Yes.
It's beautiful.
That's amazing.
Yes.
And what I love about that is we're starting them young. Okay, so this is something they can grow up with in their lives, with the understanding that these are all things that are beneficial to their health and